Okay, so today's a little bit more of just a refresher, and I just give you a few tips and tricks on how to get started with your Evo. We've gone through so much content in the last, couple of weeks, so it sometimes becomes a bit overwhelming when you actually do make the transition, and it's like, oh, where do I start? So that's really what I'm going to run through today. And I would really love you to put your questions in. We are trying to give you a little bit of time at the end today so we can come back and answer some questions. And I have a couple of questions that we were asked last week that I didn't get time to actually respond to. So I want to go through that with you today as well. And as I said, we're really excited. We are starting to see our first customers come on board. Please set your date and start the process. You won't be the first, and it's all very exciting. So anyway, I'll just start here, and I'll probably timed out. Oh no, I haven't. That's great. I thought I might have had to do my MFA. So when you land, what we've talked about before, it just looks the same. There's no real difference for you. I'm logged in as an admin person today, so I'm not an employee, so I have a slightly different screen. But I just thought I'd get started in here just by showing you your Evo dashboard. So when you first start, you look at our welcome page and it's really quite overwhelming. There's a lot on there. When you land, your page won't look like this, okay? So that's the first thing. We've had our marketing team get behind here and put a lot of content on our welcome page and dashboard. This is actually an administrator's role to actually set up your spaces. And we did cover this off in one of the webinars earlier, but I just wanted to point it out again that when you first log in, your welcome page will be blank. So when you get settled with it, you might want to maybe speak to your marketing about putting on some content for you on that page. The My Dashboard is there for you to customize any way you like as an individual, so your employees will have their own one. So I just want to touch on that because that one surprises a lot of people when they first log in because they're used to seeing our very busy and colourful page, and you'll have a blank one. Now, the very first time I logged in, the first thing that I did is I came in and I checked my products. I made sure that all my products were there, but I logged into Discovery Hub. So just a reminder, Discovery Hub has got an area in here for you to go through and watch just a couple of videos to help you get set up. So there's admin areas, and this one here is actually the one I started on, which is Introduction to Members. And we'll just go in and touch on your members again in a moment. The other thing that I did is I love software and I love playing around, which is, I guess, why I'm in the role I'm in. I have to press buttons. So I came in here and I came into my organization setting, and the first thing I did is I changed the color. Simple, I just wanted to own it myself. If you find that that name that you're seeing along the top there is a name that you think, oh, I wish it was called this, you can come in and you can change your name yourself. The other thing on this page is the friendly URL that you can use and you can share with people if you want to save it on a company intranet or somewhere. So I will just save those changes. So we'll change the color of our org. There you go. It's already changed. Okay. So that was the very first thing I did. I spent probably 20 minutes in the Discovery Hub, and then I went in and changed the color. And then I came in and I went into my members area. Now, the members area you can access by clicking on these two people up in your menu, and it opens a tab. Now, there's been a couple of questions asked along the way about employee, how do I know if someone isn't here and they've missed the 24-hour opportunity to click on the link, what do I do? You can come in here and you can say, I'd like to see all my added users. That will show you everyone that has received the email but hasn't logged on. You can then select them all and come over here into the add section, and then you can send a group email out again, or you can do them one at a time. Okay, so that's how you can do that. The other thing that you can do, and I'll just click on myself here as an example. So I've got a couple of different logins. So if I want to change my role, I can come in and I can give people access to whether they're a user or an administrator. So this is really important. Don't feel rushed with the rollout of it, okay? You can pick and choose who has access to what and when, okay? So you don't have to give everyone access on day one. You can just give your team access or just yourself, get comfortable with it, and then start rolling it out. So if you want to give access to just a person one at a time, you can do it this way. Or just a reminder, over here you have a button that you can click on and you can export the members. It will come up into your little drop down area up the top here, and I will open it. I'll just wait for that to open. I'll just be a second. Okay. So when it opens up, it tells you your members, and I have mine filtered, so I'm just seeing my own here. You can add tags, which will help you with searching. And you can come in here and actually change what user permissions you have. So I might want to change this to be, edit, enable edit. That always helps. So I can come in here and change any of these. Once I've changed them, I can then upload this spreadsheet back into the members area, which I'll show you in a moment how to do. So if you've got an employee that's terminated, and this is a question that came up, you would be able to come in here and just remove their permissions to the modules you don't want them having access to. Some people like a terminated employee to still have access to the system for a period of time after they have left. So this is why it's up to the administrator to come in and actually turn them off. You've got a couple of options available to you, so you can do them one by one. Oops, that one there. So you can come in here and do them one by one, or you can also come in and you can deactivate them. Once you do deactivate them though, they can't access their Definitiv at all to see their pay slips. Okay, so what we're recommending is you come into manage role for that person and you change them here, you turn them off, and then you can just leave them as they can access Definitiv if you like. Because that's how we are working with our terminated employees. How we can actually upload changes is just back into that little settings button. We can come in and you can import that same that same spreadsheet back in after you've made those changes, and that will update everyone in a group update. Now, all that information, because I know I'm talking very fast today, is available in your Discovery Hub. So you can also go through here and read how you can do that here and how you can do your bulk update and import your spreadsheet, but it is very easy to do. Okay, the other question that came up last week is, if I make a change in Definitiv, will it automatically be updated in my Evo Analytics? The answer to that is yes. Evo is updated once a day though, okay? So if you make your change in your Definitiv software now, it probably won't be there until tomorrow, okay? So that's just, it's update once a day. Now, I just want to take you into a couple of other areas now that are available to you. And one of them is our Definitiv Evo Access Learning area. And I wanted to bring you in here so you could see what's actually available to you already. There's a lot of information on how to get around your Evo for Definitiv. So here's some frequently asked questions, how to get started, how you can do your migration process, and there's links within here that will take you through how to invite, the email that's being written for you, how to get started, you can raise a case. Okay, so there's a lot of information in here already that's available to you at your fingertips. And you can share with people as well. You might have someone in your team that you want to share this information and go, I'm going to delegate this to you to look after. You can give them these links to help them. The other thing that is great is just a reminder about your feed in Definitiv. So how I start my day, generally now as a payroll person, is I come in, I used to always open email and I'd read my emails first. I actually now open Evo and go through my feeds. And the reason I do that is straight away I can see things like someone has had the auto clock off happen, or I've had a refund or an STP issue come through. So the feeds is quite powerful. And then I go through my tasks as well, which comes through to my feed. Because I do use tasks, it lets me know what tasks are due today. So the feed is quite important. And I also work on two screens like most of you. So I have Definitiv on one screen and my Evo on the other screen. And that's pretty much how I work most days now. I'm often in both products at the same time. All right, so very, very quickly, so we're just talking about how I start my day. The other thing that I do, and I challenged myself from day one of getting Evo, because change just doesn't happen naturally. We've got to actually practice it and make it part of our habit. Every time I get a question from an employee, I think, can Evo help me with that? And what I generally find is if I come into my analytics, and it does take practice, okay, I would generally find my employee record could give me the answer to the question. So again, when we come into the employee record, you'll find it looks like this. You do have to filter person by person, but what I find is generally when people ask a question, it's around leave or their pay history. So what you find is if you come in and you have a look at an employee, and so I'll just pick on Charlie, you can generally find that by coming in here, the information is here and you can quickly drill down, or you can go through the payroll itself by looking down here and going, oh, this is the payroll number I'm interested in, and you can see that information. So this is what I mean about having it on the two screens. I can have email open, I can have my Definitiv open, but I've also now got the power of seeing analytics at the same time. Again, quickly download and you probably have the answer there. The other area that gives you really good information is our insights. So insights come in lots of different formats, which we've been through before. But if you look for tables, I find the tables are probably where you're going to spend most of your time. And you'll see here that if it's a Definitiv table, or if it's in a dashboard, you can see that it's there. Because what you'll find is there's a lot of other information in there around articles, so that's your engage area. You'll have things for applause. So as you find your system growing, you'll have more and more information coming in there. So I find the tables are probably the most useful. And again, you can come in here and click on anything. So if here, leave processed by type, this is giving me every employee, every leave type, and everything taken from when you first started processing in Definitiv. And it's also going to give you every organisation. So if you've got more than one payroll, it will be in here. You'll have all of your payrolls in here together. And again, you can filter from here. Okay, so this helps you as well. You can come in here and check the type, the reason, and its current status. So insights and the dashboards are highly valuable, and I do spend a lot of time in them every single day. And I know I'm running out of time, so I'll just jump in. The other area that I wanted to show you today was our Evo Help Centre. Now, when we talk about Evo, you can hear about us talking about Evo, the platform, and then Evo Definitiv. So we have the two areas. Definitiv specific information sits under your Definitiv Health, but Evo, you might want to look at something like learning, analytics, collaborate, or applause. This is where you can come in and find out information. We actually had a question raised this week, which was quite an interesting one. It was about child sites, and it's something I didn't go through with you in our first session looking at Collaborate, so I just thought I'd mention it now. We can come in here, and you'll find in here, it actually has a whole heap of information on how to use Collaborate, like uploading, downloading, deleting unwanted documents, creating tasks. And there's an area in here where we talk about child sites. And what child sites is it lets you have like a department set up. So I'll just come back over here and I'll jump into Collaborate for one, it'll just be 1 second. So when we come into a site, we've got ours set up just for the demo, obviously, but you would probably have sites set up differently. And one of them might be a department. So let's say it's customer service. So what you want is a top level, and we call it the parent site. And this is what we're looking at here. And you'll see there's a button here called Create Child Site. Now, the reason we have this is you can copy all of your members in from the parent site automatically. So you don't have to go in and do them one by one by one. But you might find that you've just got a few people you want to remove from a child site. They might not be needing that actual particular information. So it's easier to remove a few people than to actually go in and add a whole new group in. So that's what a child site has been designed for. And just a reminder, any person that's in a site can opt out of a site themselves by clicking that Leave Site. So I just want to take you back and show you just the other areas in here. So we've got a lot of information on how to set up applause, but this one here, troubleshooting as well. So if you're having any issues with maybe you might need to clear your cookies, things like that, you can come in here and actually get some information on how to work around that troubleshooting area. And also, we quite often are getting questions from people that haven't been through the webinars asking about the security. You can actually direct them to this area here on the website. And there's a lot of articles in here on the security of Evo and how it works.